what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Rock Video Rental. I am Brandon. With me, as always, is Caleb, and we are continuing on with Awesomely Bad April. This time, we're going to be talking about a very interesting movie with a crazy backstory, and that is New York Ninja. But before we get to that, Caleb, you watched anything good this week?
Yeah, I got some stuff. I will say, I can tell you why I didn't watch, and that was the national championship game Monday night, which
Yeah,
was
you
kind of
totally forgot about it.
totally forgot. I watched the Final Four on Saturday and then completely forgot the final game was on Monday.
And I forgot that the game was on Monday as well, and I wasn't even aware until on Tuesday when you guys were talking about it. I'm like, oh yeah,
Yep.
that's still going.
Yep. Totally missed out, but
After Michigan got knocked out, I kind of lost interest.
yeah. No, it was not as entertaining of a tournament as most years, but the final game was pretty entertaining, but I missed it. So yes, but from that kind of the normal stuff, interestingly enough, I restarted Bob's Burgers because my wife has started watching it with me.
Okay,
So kind of little I mean, out of all the animated series that I watched, I definitely can understand that Bob's Burgers would be the one that she would find the most entertaining. So we're watching that together. Um And then Family Guy still has new episodes coming out. But I said last week about how I plowed through the anime solo leveling. So I kind of want to keep on the anime train. And so another one that got recommended to me is one called JJK,
okay.
which stands for Jujutsu Kaisen. I probably mispronounced that, but good stuff. Um, man, to try to give this decent summary. It's basically a story. I think it takes place in Japan specifically, but I can't remember, where fears and superstitions of people turn into what they call curses
Okay.
and they like manifest, and most people can't see them, but they can still like cause trouble, havoc, things like that,
Hmm.
and hurt or harm people. And so there are special people who can see curses and who usually have abilities that they can learn and grow and like fight off the curses and everything. And so this one kid basically kind of stumbles into that world and kind of joins that society, if you kind of want to call it. And it's pretty interesting so far. There's 2 or 3 seasons out, and I'm about halfway through the first season. So, I mean, if you have any experience with animes, you know that there can be quite in depth and quite a lot of moving pieces. So this, I don't know. I think I said it last week too, though. Like it's just kind of refreshing to see something different than the same kind of regurgitated movies that or TV shows that keep getting pumped out right now. So anime for me at least is kind of like a refreshing change of pace.
Rock.
Yeah,
For me, I watched the newest episode of Yellow Jackets.
rock.
Um, I finished that movie Totally Killer.
Okay.
It was pretty decent. It had some kind of goofy comedy in it at times, but it was enjoyable. It was definitely worth a watch. And then I attempted a movie that was extremely similar to this called Time Cut. And yeah, I got like a third of the way into it. And I'm like, I am kind of over this. It was like if Disney Channel would make a slasher movie.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, it was just really awkward and like super homogenized. And I don't know. I wasn't enjoying it, so I stopped. I've watched a couple episodes of that 70s show. Um, Nothing really new there. I watched the two movies that were on Joe Bob slash Drive-In. He had a slasher movie night. He started off with Intruder, which is an interesting movie. It's got a lot of different stuff in it. It was made by a guy from Michigan, Scott Spiegel,
Hmm.
and it's got the Raimi brothers in it, and Bruce Campbell does a cameo in it. Uh, it's funny because it's a pretty low budget movie. The whole thing takes place in a grocery store, but like the kill scenes are just ridiculous in it. And I
Okay.
can't remember off the top of my head now who did the special effects, but it's like a really famous special effects guy. I feel like it's Rick Baker,
Hmm.
but yeah, that one's a fun one. And then they did like a more modern one. They did In a Violent Nature,
Oh,
which
is that
is
isn't that it came out a couple years ago?
yeah, and it's like third person view of the killer walking through the woods.
Mm-hmm.
There's no music. There's not a whole lot of dialogue. It's basically you're following the killer around everywhere he goes. He stumbles across different people and kills them. It's I understand what they were trying to do, and like some of the stuff worked well, but other things are just it's kind of a boring movie at times
Okay.
because not a lot happens at times because he's just like walking from A to B, you know.
Mm.
It's got some pretty brutal kills in it, and they're all practical effects, so that's pretty cool. I mean, it's not just a bunch of digital crap,
Yeah.
so I appreciate that. And then the last thing I watched a shot on video horror movie from the 80s called The Abomination. And it's like a micro budget one,
Hmm.
like a Z movie. It's like basically if a bunch of friends got together, scraped up $1,000 or something, and decided they were gonna make a movie. And it's like this I don't even know how to explain the movie because it's so like off the wall and awkward. Let me see if I can find the plot here to help me explain it. Um, it's like this guy and his mom live together, and it says an old woman coughs up what she believes to be a tumor. While asleep, the thing crawls inside of her son and reproduces inside him, then causes him to go on a killing spree to feed it.
What the heck?
Yeah.
Is that brain damage?
No, it's kind of similar though, I guess, when you think about it. Brain damage is a trillion times better. Um, it's one of those, it's like The Abomination. It's a movie. I was like, it's slightly better than getting kicked in the face with a golf shoe. It
Nice.
wasn't horrible. Like, it made me laugh at times. It would possibly be considered awesomely bad, but not anything I'd put on
It's
for an
probably the
episode.
equivalent of a movie if we tried to make a movie when we were in college.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah. But it was just kind of a fun watch for one time watch. Like, I doubt I'll ever watch it again. I do know that the VHS tape is like extremely valuable because there's not like a ton around.
Oh,
They usually go for a couple $100.
interesting.
But yeah, that is pretty much it for me. I did watch New York Ninja for the second time, and oh man, we should talk about it. New York Ninja. It is from 1984 slash 2021. It's directed by John Liu and Curtis Speiler. The plot, originally shot in 1984 and not finished until 2021, New York Ninja is about a sound technician for a news station who becomes a vigilante ninja in New York City after his pregnant wife is murdered. The cast, we got John Liu as John Liu. We also have Don Wilson as the voice of John Liu. Michael Berryman as the voice of the plutonium killer. Linnea Quigley as the voice of Randy. Leon Isaac Kennedy as the voice of Detective Williams. Cynthia Rothrock as the voice of Detective Flores. And Ginger Lynn as the voice of Nita. Um,
So are we? So we're labeling this as a 2021 movie, technically.
it's I think technically, um, yeah, I got more trivia facts, but I mean this movie was shot in 1984 and it was never finished. And the sound was like apparently like all jacked up or something like that. And there was no sound. The script was lost and the sound elements were lost. And then it was finished in 2021 and they had to like try to figure out what the people were saying in it.
Okay.
Yeah, so then they had like voice actors come in and dub it over.
So they didn't even have a script.
No, they had nothing, dude. They just
Oh,
have like yeah, just like
okay. That makes me
the
feel a lot
unfinished
better because
film.
I was watching it and I was like, how are the lips so far off
But
in
yeah.
some of these?
Yeah, I'll just give my first trivia in fact here because it gives a little backstory. It says John Liu originally shot the film in 1984 in New York City. The film remained unfinished until Vinegar Syndrome found the original unedited camera negative in their film archive with the sound elements and script lost. Producer slash editor Curtis Spieler or Spieler, one of the two, finished the film and hired a new cast to dub the voices as well as the band Voyager to create an original score.
Hmm.
That is awesome.
I was surprised that the music. I mean, the music wasn't amazing, but like it fit really well.
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting to know. One another thing I'll say is that it's nice to kind of be on track with Awesomely Bad because this very clearly qualifies for Awesomely Bad.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, I feel like this movie would pair extremely well with Miami Connection in a double feature.
oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, man, when was Miami Connection again?
Oh
70?
gosh, I don't remember. It was something sometime in the
87.
80s. 87.
So
Okay, that makes
Miami was
sense.
after technically filmed after this.
Yeah.
Oh man, okay, because I was about to say, depending on when Miami Connection came out, I would almost think that maybe there was some kind of not crossover, but inspiration or something, maybe.
Hmm.
So, but one of my favorite things, and not to like spoil at the end, but just talking about like when this was filmed and all the quirky things about it is how they finished it with L.A. Ninja coming
Yeah.
in the future. It's like, dude, why didn't you just go with Miami Ninja?
Right? Oh gosh. Yeah, LA Ninja. So he was basically the New York Ninja was basically taking after Paul Kersey in Death Wish
Okay.
because he went from New York to LA to New York to LA.
Well, what was the Escape movies? Did it start in New York, then it went to LA, or was it the other way around?
Oh, the Escape ones? It started
Yeah,
Escape from New York was the first one, then Escape from LA was the second one.
there you go. Another correlation right there.
Man. Yeah, the first time I watched this movie, I think it was probably 2 years ago.
Okay.
It might have been 3 years ago. Um, yeah, Vinegar Syndrome that I mentioned is like I guess considered a boutique like Blu-ray release company.
Okay.
They take a lot of like exploitation movies, 80s horror movies. They were the first ones to release Rad on Blu-ray.
All right.
Like once they got all the rights to everything to that, they do an extremely good job of this kind of stuff. Um, And then after they're out for a while, a lot of times they pop up on Tubi and you can watch them for free.
Right.
So I think that's what I watched that on the first time. Uh, yeah, and it was instantly just like, oh my God, this is amazing. You got your crappy dialogue, which is funny because they didn't have a script when they got it. So they had to try to just figure out what the people were saying and then have voice actors do the voiceovers for it,
It-
which is
yeah, that
just
would.
hilarious to me.
I really kind of wonder how that went down because, like, I mean, well, okay, I kind of have to imagine that they tried writing a script from it and then handed the voice actors like, here, say this, because like part of me wants to think it would have been a lot of fun if they were just like, and I realize that this isn't how they do voice acting typically, but they get everybody together and then they try to do scenes together
That would have been hilarious.
and just like doing scenes over and over again and just kind of like hodgepodging it together.
Yeah.
But
Um, yeah, with Don the Dragon Wilson doing the voice of the main characters, it's pretty great. Um, Also, I think it's hilarious too. The detective got voiced over by Cynthia Rothrock,
yeah.
who is probably the greatest female martial artist. I mean, she did tons of stuff in the 80s and 90s, but yeah, some of her fighting stuff is pretty awesome in the late 80s and everything.
Hmm.
I've watched a few of her movies, uh, and it's funny too because the character that she does the voiceover for, she kind of looks like her a little
Yeah,
bit.
I thought
But
so.
um, you know, speaking of the dialogue, I mean, it's so bad that it's amazing. We get scenes of John just yelling why?" after his uh pregnant fiance dies.
I had
That
a
just cracks me up.
correlation with that one, a comparison, I guess. And I would almost say that John, when he was having his meltdown after his wife died and yelling why,
Yeah.
um, would be kind of parallel to they're gonna eat her, then they're gonna eat me. Oh my god!
Pretty much why.
So Troll Two
Oh
put those type.
god.
It's I don't know if you've seen it, but on TikTok, there's this thing that goes around sometimes where it's just like, show me two clips that give off the same energy.
Yeah.
Those two clips right there.
Oh, for sure. Oh man. Oh. Some of the other dialogue too, like when he rescues the boy
Hmm.
and he's like, "Are you really the ninja?" "Yes." "Will you be my friend?" "Yes." Then he just like hands him a necklace. And it's
No,
so
we're best
awkward because they're both
friends.
sitting in a bed with no shirt on.
Yes, thank you for pointing that out. I was
I'm
gonna
like,
say something about
this is
that.
weird. Yeah. Uh, well, the whole thing, too, how it kind of starts off is like John meets with his fiance. She's like, happy, or he goes, happy birthday. It's like delayed. And she's like, I love you. And then she's like, I have to go. And then like he's like, hey. And she's like, yeah. She's like, I love you. She's like, I can't wait to tell you. I was like, I'll tell you tonight. And then all of a sudden she's just like, I'm pregnant.
It can't wait. I'm pregnant.
I'm pregnant. And then he's like, I'm gonna be a daddy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Says it like a few times. And then
Yeah.
she gets killed. And she's dead.
Well, yeah, perfect setup for like just preparing you for awesomely bad, how awesomely bad this was going to be because yeah, when she dies and gets killed,
Yeah.
um she gets her throat slit at the top of
Hmm.
like a subway staircase and then she slowly rolls down like holding on to the railing like, "Oh, I can't let myself fall down. Hold me up." And then the guy who was attacking her, maybe I saw it wrong, but he like stops and looks at his watch And then he like freaks out and then chucks a knife at her, which very clearly fake knife.
Yeah.
And then she falls down into the subway staircase right next to an I Heart NY uh, sticker on the wall.
I needed a few
And
of those from Death Wish.
yeah, and just the greatness went on from there.
Oh gosh, that's when we get the classic. It's not fair. Why?
Hmm.
And then he pulls out katanas.
That was a
No,
present, apparently.
now things are serious. And that's when he turns into the New York Ninja. And
Hmm.
now it's just like a bunch of scenes of him fighting random street toughs, wearing the most ridiculous outfits you'll ever see.
Oh yeah, I had that down too. Can we talk about like one of the most confusing things about this movie, though?
The whole thing.
No, like the absolute most confusing thing because it was never explained. Which,
Yeah,
granted, a lot of this movie wasn't explained, but why was there the plutonium killer?
because they needed a bad guy.
Well, they had a bad guy, but then all of a sudden, like
Yeah,
halfway through the movie, they're like, by the way, he's playing with radioactive material. And then you're like, okay, cool. Why? Nothing.
that. Okay, so the plutonium killer was like as lame as the bad guy from Mr. Nanny
Yes.
with the metal head played by David Johansen. Very same kind of energy too.
Hmm.
It just crazy wacky, uh, like a really bad comic book villain.
Yeah, absolutely. But like the thing was, like he was already menacing enough. Like he was kind of what's the word I want to see? Foreboding and mysterious,
Yeah, and he
kind
was
of.
more of like a crime lord. But like, why did he have to become radioactive? I don't know.
Exactly. Like it was in the middle of the movie, and I almost thought that we were watching a movie that was being viewed by someone in the movie because it was so abrupt and random.
Yeah, it took a hard turn.
Yeah, and then it wound up being the main bad guy, and I was like, what does this have to do with anything? And it didn't have anything to do with anything.
No, all you had to be was just a leader of a gang. You know, just like the bad guy from Death Wish 3.
Yeah.
And he was intimidating. Like they could have did that with this guy.
Yeah, that
He's
to
like he
me,
had the henchman that killed John's wife, and he's trying to
exactly.
take over the city or something like that. You know?
It was basically because of that guy. Like he was not the guy who killed John's wife, but it was because of him that John's wife was killed.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, maybe there was just so much going on, but did John ever actually kill the guy who killed his wife?
Um, I think at the end, I think at the end, like the guy at least got like taken in or something. He
Yeah,
was brought to justice at least, I think.
as he was so fond of saying. He's like,
Yes,
"You'll get what you want, but I'll get justice."
I'll get justice.
Oh no, what did he say? He said, the city owes me.
Yeah.
And then the cop was just like, "What does the city owe you?" And he's like, "Justice."
Dan Mike Danton. Oh man. See, you could have had the movie that I've talked about thousands of times called The Forgettables, where it's like the Expendables, but it's a bunch of B and C action movie guys.
Yeah.
This guy could have been in there with Mike Danton. Uh, um, man, there's so many like ridiculous scenes in this. I think the one that's probably one of the most ridiculous is the whole fight scene on roller skates.
Yes.
There's like these guys that are like trying to rough up this girl, and the ninja comes out of nowhere and he's wearing roller skates.
I mean,
Uh,
who who really thought that was a good idea?
I
And
know.
then, did you
A
notice I
skateboard would at least been cool. You're like, oh
right?
man, he's on a skateboard. That's rad.
And then did you notice that in the middle of that scene, they took him off and then put him back on?
Yeah. Does he have um like Heelys?
Yeah.
like all those annoying kids did in the 2000s,
Futuristic.
or like how Batman and Robin had um blades that would pop out of their boots so they could skate.
Oh yeah.
The New York Ninja just has roller skates that pop out.
He
Imagine getting
was
kicked in the face with a roller skate.
no, that would hurt. He was ahead of his time. He was
Exactly.
he was Batman before Batman.
Uh, it always cracks me up too with white ninjas. Ninjas are supposed to be stealthy. Wouldn't you see a guy running around in a white suit in broad daylight pretty easily?
Unless it was in Siberia.
Yeah. Beverly Hills Ninja. Uh, which I feel like we should do like a Chris Farley month sometime.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
I don't know how we haven't done that.
I don't know either.
Another moment in this movie that was could have been amazing but was sorely disappointing was the 2 minute training montage.
Oh man, every movie needs a montage.
Yeah, and they did it, but it was not very good.
No, we could have used more. I mean, come on, Rocky 4 is like our favorite Rocky movie, and it's like 95% montage.
Exactly. That's how you do a good
Could
movie.
have used it. Oh, how about the scene with the plutonium killer hypnotizing a woman?
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like in this car with her, and they're like doing it, and I'm like, this is really graphic for a regular movie. And I was like, and the actress has some enormous boobs that you probably only see in a porn.
Yeah, that was
Like that's
very
it was really like stark, I guess.
yeah,
Like a standout. I'm like, this doesn't seem like you're watching a regular movie.
it took a hard turn there.
And then he just kills her in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and well, like it connect that scene did like some connection or something with him and the plutonium again, which was weird enough as it was. But then also it made him seem super. I mean, there were a couple other things that did it too, but that scene in particular made him seem um really weird, quirky, and I don't know, kind of dumb. I don't know what you want to say, but it really brought down his character. Like I said, he was very foreboding, very intimidating, very like in the operating in the shadows, and that was one of the scenes that just made him seem more comical than anything.
Yeah, for sure. And somehow I don't remember that scene from the first time I watched it. And when I watched it this time, I'm like, how did I not remember that?
Yeah.
Just with everything that was going on, because it was very intense.
Well,
Oh
speaking of
man.
the plutonium killer guy, his driver.
Hmm.
How about Frodo Baggins' creepy uncle with the rat tail? Like, what the heck, dude?
Oh, the man, the rat tail. And he puts it in his mouth when he's fighting.
Super weird,
Like, was
man.
that supposed to be intimidating? Because that was just weird.
Oh, super weird. Absolutely.
Oh gosh.
Like when he finally got out of a car and like faced someone, I was really surprised that he was taller than 5 feet.
Oh gosh. Um, I think one of my favorite scenes is right around that time too, where they throw a net on the ninja, and then it's like they just play a clip of him jumping off a bridge supports, and they just play it backwards.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like jumping up backwards.
Yeah.
That was like an old Three Stooges trick there.
Oh yeah. Smooth editing right there.
Yeah, that that just made me laugh.
Well,
Uh,
another thing that is a theme throughout this movie is that nobody knows how to use a gun.
yes. And how many times they try to? Oh my gosh, the whole last 10 minutes. And how many times they talk to the ninja like, "You better stop what you're doing, freeze," or stuff like that. Like it makes me think of um, it's either Austin Powers one or two. I think it's the first one where Scott Evil's just like, So you're gonna put him in this room with one guard, an inept guard watching him, and just hope that he dies? He's like, I got a gun in my room. I'll just go get it. We'll shoot him. We'll do it together. That's what it made me think of. But I'm like, the whole time I'm like, just shoot the ninja. Like he's got shurikens in his hand and he's got him wheeled back like he's gonna throw him.
Hmm.
Like
And
you could shoot this guy before he throws one at you.
yeah, and so many times they were just like, well, they had a gun pulled on him a couple
Yeah.
times, and they're just like, freeze, don't move. And then he doesn't move, and then they start fighting him again. And it's like,
Yeah.
what the heck, dude? Probably one of the worst ones though was the guy who had the AK-47 that was sitting
Yeah.
on top of a helicopter towards that in the
Oh
movie.
God. Yes.
And he's just like, "Oh, don't move!" And then the ninja kicks somebody again, and "I said, don't move." And then
And
he
then he
just,
just drops the gun.
well, then he just stops, and then the ninja has enough time to, was it a throwing star or his fan or something from like
It was the fan, yeah.
at
He
least
stabs the
20 feet
guy.
away. Yeah, and so you can't pull a trigger in the amount of time that something's flying through in the air at you.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
So bad.
Yeah, so terrible. And then he's like, ah, and then they zoom in on the gun when it falls. For no real reason, because it doesn't ever come into play again.
Nope. I mean,
Oh
the
man.
only one time that a gun actually did anything was that one gang that was picking on the kid,
Yeah,
and they shot the ninja,
yeah.
and he fell, and then the kid jumped in the way of the next bullet.
I took a bullet for a ninja. Oh gosh. Oh, how about the I love New York Ninja shirts?
Epic.
And then how about at the end when all the kids come out and it's like they didn't have enough budget to print more I love New York Ninja shirts. So they just had pieces of paper taped on the front of them that said I love New York Ninja.
No way. I didn't see that.
Yes.
No.
It's funny because some of the kids are wearing like navy blue shirts and they have a white piece of paper cut out
Oh my
that says I love New
gosh.
York Ninja, like put it on there with scotch tape.
No, dang it. That sucks. I'm so mad I
Yeah,
missed
you'll have to go back and check the end of that because I was laughing my butt off.
that.
Uh, like,
uh,
oh, the screen printing costs too much. Let's go to Kinko's.
Dude, they don't even do. They don't even. I don't even think that they did screen printing for the other ones. I think it was the. I don't
The
know
old
if you ever.
press on letters that you can get at Walmart.
Well, the press on letters, or when I was a kid, I remember making a shirt for a project. I don't know if my mom just did it with us or whatever, where you get like sponges in the shape of letters, and then you put paint on the sponge,
Yes.
and you put it
Yes.
on the shirt. That's what it
Stamp them.
was.
Yep.
My gosh.
Oh, they were one step away from just busting out the Sharpies.
Oh man.
Oh gosh. Yeah,
Oh
check
wait,
that
wait.
scene out at the end again because that really got me this time.
Well, speaking of Sharpies, did you realize that the New York Ninja Ninja stars were written on with Sharpie?
No.
Yeah, if you look closely when the guy was just like, "Oh, look what I've got," and it's a ninja star and it says New York Ninja, it's Sharpie on a ninja star.
Oh, that's great. Oh man. Yeah, he was big time into the Ninja Stars slash Shurikens or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah. I love the
Oh
fact
man.
that the John character was so focused on getting revenge for his wife and justice for his wife that he had to spend time putting New York Ninja on the ninja stars they had.
Yes. Oh my God. And then it's like he just went to a flea market because like I remember going to flea markets before and seeing like knives and throwing stars and stuff
Oh yeah.
that you could get. Maybe they were just pog slammers. Just throw a bunch of saw blade slammers at people. Ow, that hurt, you idiot. Oh my gosh. Um, so towards the end, he's fighting the rat tail guy, and it's like, is this dude drunk or is he just exhausted? Because he's just like rolling around on the ground.
Oh no, it was a fighting technique. It was the drunken swordsman.
Oh,
So
okay.
it was supposed to be like, I don't know if you've seen the Jackie Chan movie,
Oh, drunken ninja.
yeah, Drunken Master, I think it was, or something like that. But
Yeah.
there's a fighting technique. There is a legit fighting technique that is martial arts. To my knowledge, I've never heard of drunken swordsman though. So I kind of have a feeling that may have been embellished, but
Yeah. Just make it up.
yeah, just act
Oh
drunk, you'll
gosh.
do great.
Yeah. This guy isn't very coordinated, so let's just come up with something called the Drunken Swordsman. It's all planned. Oh jeez. And then the Night Ninja, not the Night Ninja, Night Ninja's from PJ Masks.
The day ninja?
Yeah. Oh gosh. The New York Ninja goes and saves like all these women. What are they, like prostitutes or something? Like all these skanks that he saves. And the detective. And then she gets in a fight with this dude who's holding a gun yet again. And she has high heels on.
Hmm.
And she beats him up with some of the worst looking kicks I have ever seen in my life. Oh man.
Oh, and that henchman had a eye patch. You always got to have a guy with an eye patch.
Oh yeah, and he hits him in the eye, and he goes, "God, my eye!"
My one good eye.
No. Now he's got two eye patches. Oh gosh, yeah, the tough guy with the eye patch. And then shortly after that, the New York Ninja's got a mirror, and he shines it at the plutonium killer, and it like makes his face melt.
Well, yeah. Well, somehow he was able to like change his looks to look like his coworker cameraman guy that he killed,
Yeah,
which I don't really understand how that works, but sure.
or why they even did it.
Yeah, there's no need, no reason.
And then we get the whole, you guys got guns, they're faster than shurikens. Oh man.
Oh no, wait, oh wait though. How the plutonium killer dies. We haven't
Yeah.
talked about that.
Well, he
Because
pulls out a
that
Highlander sword.
well yeah, he pulls out a Highlander sword, which retracts apparently into the sword.
Yeah.
Super weird. Um, but then he's trying to escape on a helicopter. The ninja jumps on, like lassos the thing and starts climbing up the rope. And then he opens the door, kicks the plutonium killer in the face, and then he jumps off, falls off, something like that. And they begin to fly away. And the plutonium killer's like, "What's that noise? What is that? Is that a bomb?" And then they blow up. So the ninja had been carrying around a bomb
The whole time,
the
yeah.
whole time. Like, where did he hide that?
He keistered it.
He must have, man.
I like how the helicopter pilot kind of looked like Andy Richter too.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, why aren't we going anywhere? He's like fiddling around with the controls. He's like, we're out of gas.
Ain't got no
Like that.
gas.
Yeah, that just cracked me up. Oh man. Oh dude. Uh the last time I was like, just shoot him, my God. Was when was right before he jumped on the helicopter and he's kicking that dude and he like spin kicks him like six times in a row.
Hmm.
And I'm like, even Van Damme would find that excessive. Oh man. Then we get the ending, the last, like the great scene where it's like, the New York Ninja is a real hero. Yes, he is. And then he looks in the camera and gives us a thumbs up.
Yeah. He broke the fourth wall. Well, even before that though, like right before that, the cops captured the ninja and the main detective was just like, "Oh, we don't need to unmask him yet." And then they
Yeah,
get swarmed by a bunch of kids in a parking lot and
yeah.
somehow the ninja got away.
Those are the kids that have the pieces of paper taped
Oh,
to
it's
their
on that
shirts.
scene?
Yeah, so go
Okay.
watch that one again.
Okay.
That's the scene because they're all like, yeah, and they got signs and everything.
Oh man.
Uh, ninja, ninja, ninja. I
Go
also like
ninja,
how the
go
ninja
ninja.
throws like those little white bomb things.
Yeah.
that Tatsu had from Ninja Turtles.
Mm-hmm. And they don't work.
Yeah. It's like poof. Looks like he threw a handful of baby powder at him or something.
Yeah.
Like Mr. Fuji back in the day. Oh man, anything let me see. I got some other stuff too that cracked me up. Oh, there's a scene where they're fighting and he's like holding his leg up for like 30 seconds.
Oh yeah.
And the guy's just kind of standing there, and I'm like, the dude's not even doing anything. He's just waiting for the ninja to do his next move.
Mm-hmm.
It's so hilarious.
And there's like no way that while he's holding his leg that he has any real force behind his kicks.
Yeah. Oh
So
gosh. Um, there's one part too that just made me laugh to myself. Um, I think it's when he saves like the reporter and stuff,
okay.
and they're in a car, and they're like, "Did you see that? It was incredible." And she's like, "Where did he come from?" And they're looking around, and then a guy that's with her's like, "Where did he go?" And I was like,
Yes.
"Where did he come from, Cotton Eye Joe?"
I know. I put that down too.
uh,
I feel like that was deliberate.
yeah, it
Uh,
was just hilarious. Oh man. And I mean, the whole ninja on roller skates might be the best part.
hmm
The most absurd, ridiculous part. Oh, gosh. Anything else to add? You want me to get into the trivia and facts?
well, the last thing I'll say before moving on to that is like I feel like they have to make an LA Ninja now. It doesn't matter if anybody from the original movie is involved. I feel like somebody just needs to make a low budget LA Ninja movie.
Yeah,
Like just they it needs to be done.
that would be awesome.
hmm Better than all the
Oh
crap they're
gosh.
putting out in the theaters right now.
Right? I mean, if you can, something like Kung Fury can get made,
hmm
like they need to make a LA Ninja.
For sure.
All right. So I already shared the one about the whole backstory to this. Next one I got is contrary to early reports, a lip reader was not brought in to assist with the dubbing because the movie was unedited. A lip reader would have to had read the lips for every single take of the movie. Instead, Curtis Spieler cut the movie together first, then wrote new dialogue to match performances of the actors. The result is similar to a foreign film where the do not always match up with the mouth movements of the actors. This was done to create more coherent story and to add fun of the film. Most of the on-screen cast um, list remained unidentified as of 2023 because no production records are known to even survive. So they don't even know the vast majority of the people in this movie.
Okay, that makes sense. I was looking up the cast list and everything was the voice actors. I was like,
Yeah, I
seriously?
know. I was confused by that too. So the film portrays the dangers of taking the New York City subways during the 80s. In addition to the graffiti and trash, many people were wary of taking the subway because of the high rate of muggings, assaults, and murders.
Also known as Muck Duck.
Yes. The, I don't know. The R is the most menacing of sounds. So Cynthia Rothrock and Don the Dragon Wilson starred together in the movies taken from Rio Bravo, New York Ninja, Redemption, Sci Fighter, Fury of the Fist, and the Golden Fleece, Black Creek, Martial Arts Kids 1 and 2, Showdown in Manila, Death Fighter, Paying Mr. Getty, and the documentary Beyond the Game. So co-stars quite a bit.
Hmm.
But with doing voiceovers, they were never together in the making of this. And I don't have a budget. I don't have a box office because this movie was never finished and it was only finished for Blu-ray release.
No.
Yeah. That's back-to-back movies where I don't have any box office numbers.
You disgust me.
Oh man. So grades, IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes. What do you think they are?
I may have seen this. Was IMDb 5.4?
It is a 5.4.
Okay. No idea about Rotten Tomato. Critic 55%.
Dude, the critic is 96.
What the heck? No,
Yeah.
no, no, no. No, you can't. I'm sorry. Like you can't.
Uh,
Like a movie of this type, there's no way that it should be allowed to go above an 89.
yeah.
So with that for the audience, I'll give it an 85.
42 for the audience.
Oh my gosh. Okay, see
I
that's
feel like those should be
more.
switched around.
Yes, I feel like though that's inaccurate.
I went first last time. I'll let you go first this time.
Oh man. It's been a while since we've had such a good awesomely bad movie as this. Um because it's hard to kind of hit on all the major things for an awesomely bad movie. Like you need the entertaining factor, you need the watchability factor, you need some elements to be so bad that they're good.
Hmm.
Because some of the ones that we have watched in recent awesomely bad months have been so bad they're just bad. Um, and it wasn't a super boring movie. It had its lulls, it had its quirks. Um, but it's definitely not on the plane of Miami Connection, Deadly Prey, things of that nature. So I think um, a fair rating for this one would be 4.5 out of 5. So
Rock.
it's definitely one of those. I mean, because I think where Awesomely Bad really gets its best return is like if you're watching it with friends or something just to enjoy the sheer ridiculousness of a movie.
Yeah, for sure. I ended up falling on a 4.5 out of 5 as well. Um, just because I do believe I would consider it the next tier, like second tier, or like first tier of awesomely bad is, The Room, Miami Connection, Deadly Prey, um, Troll 2.
Ricky O.
Yeah, Ricky-O, the story of Ricky. But then like this would be like right under that.
Yeah.
Um, along with things like Manos, The Hands of Fate, because that one was pretty bad and funny to watch. Uh, yeah, but definitely one of the better awesomely bad movies we've done, especially in quite a while. Um, and it's just hilarious the backstory for this of how like it was shot. They didn't even have sound. They didn't have a cast list. It was just a bunch of raw footage, and they were able to splice it together in a at least semi-coherent movie.
hmm
Like it's just incredibly amazing to me.
Yeah, I feel like that would be so difficult.
Oh yeah, for sure. Then to like have to write a script based on the footage you have, and then to hire voice actors to come into a studio and record. It's insane.
Well, oh man, what was that movie? Hang on just a second. Do you know the movie Kung Pao?
Yeah, Kung Pao, Enter the Fist.
Yeah, where they took old Asian movies and they like put a guy in and they like dubbed over it and made
Yeah,
it a completely movie of its own. I almost feel like they could have and maybe should have taken a little liberty with this movie like that, where like in just some random scene they should have interjected something where it had nothing to do with the movie, and one of the characters just looks at the other one and is just like, "Why the crap are you talking about that? What does that even have to do with anything?"
yeah,
Like just acknowledging that it's pieced together, not garbage, but it's pieced together nonsense basically.
yeah. Another movie I'd put in that second tier that's kind of like slightly below the first tier is Hard Ticket to Hawaii.
Yeah.
I feel like this is kind of at that level.
Um,
But So next time we're going to be continuing on with Awesomely Bad Month. We're going to be talking about one I haven't seen before, and I've only seen people do like reviews of it online and just heard about how bad this movie is. And it's called Champagne and Bullets. It's basically one of those movies that was just a oh gosh, like a movie written, directed, starring all one guy. So it's just to make him look awesome, I guess.
So it's basically a
Ego
movie made
boost.
by the Hulk, I mean Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, pretty much. Or, like The Room,
Oh, yep.
where, Tommy Wiseau thought he was the greatest thing ever. But
Johnny.
Johnny, yeah, Johnny. The movie's also called Get Even. So if you guys want to check that out, I'm not even sure where that's streaming at. I'm sure you can find it somewhere. But if you guys are liking the show, please subscribe and share. You can find us on any platform. We're on YouTube, we're on TikTok for more content. And if you're liking awesomely bad stuff, look back. We've done tons of different awesomely bad movies, including all the ones we mentioned before. And to come by next time, we're going to be talking about Champagne and Bullets. And until then, as always, be kind and rewind.